Local politicians can be dumb, very dumb. Now let's go ahead and talk about it. What's up, Crumpy people? My name is John Crump. I'm an investigative journalist with the best damn website on the planet, AMLN News, where I investigate the ATF, FBI, and all the agencies and organizations that want to violate your God-given and constitutional rights to bear arms. I am also a gun rights activist with Gun Owners of America, Washington, D.C.'s only no-compromise gun lobby. All right, before we get into today's story, you guys are probably wondering what the deal is with the belt. Well, I have won the heavyweight championship of journalism. I was down at IV 8888 shoot, and I was approached by the guys at JSD Supply. JSD Supply makes some awesome 80%ers. You should check them out. They presented me with this awesome belt, and I am deeply moved by them. They're awesome people. Go ahead and check them out. And I'm going to be wearing this belt all through this video, so get used to it. The first thing I want to say is please like, comment, and subscribe. It means the world to me. But, you know, if you can't, you can't. Whatever. I don't care. I do care, actually. So go ahead and do it. First, let me cover why I'm not covering the whole Texas constitutional carry thing. There is a lot of channels covering that. And yes, if I do make a video on it, it will probably do very, very well. But I don't think it can really add more than what's already out there. Guns and Gadgets have an awesome video on there. Clover Tech has been doing a tremendous job going ahead and documenting everything from the beginning to the finish line of constitutional carry. Texas is going to become the 21st state to have constitutional carry once the governor signs it, and the governor is going to sign it, hopefully. Rachel Malone and Felicia Bull from GOA down there have been doing a tremendous job pushing politicians to get this all done and get this across the finish line. I've been listening to Rachel talk about it in meetings and everything else, and Felicia talking about it in meetings, and they've been putting in the hours. You really have to thank those people. Those show what we can be as a gun community. Head over to texas.gunowners.org to find out more about what those two are doing. They are doing a hell of a job, and we need to applaud them. All right. Now that we applauded them and talked about Texas and why I'm not covering it, I want to cover what's going on over on the left coast, specifically in Oregon. There is a county called Columbia County, Oregon, where this dude, who has the most metal name ever, Raven Crucible Brumbles, put forth an initiative. He got all the signatures and everything else, and he got it on the ballot. And what he put on the ballot was a Second Amendment protection ordinance. And back in 2018, that was voted on and that was passed by the people. So Columbia County, Oregon had a Second Amendment protection ordinance, or also known as SAPO. All right. So 2 years later, he's like, this isn't strong enough. I want something stronger. So Christopher, or I'm going to call him Raven by his first name because that is just freaking metal, goes back and he gets another initiative put on the ballot. It goes through the whole petitioning process and everything. And this time the county tries to stop him. The actually circuit clerk decided, hey, I'm not going to accept this. So they go to court and the court says, just change this one little part and then they have to accept it. So he did. He changed that one little part and they accepted it. It went on the ballot, and once again, the county tried to fight against it, but it passed. They spent legal resources and money trying to fight this, but it passed and it went into law. It had provisions in there that were really strong. It actually had penalties and it had teeth. Well, the board, due to COVID, isn't really having public meetings. So they decided they're going to do something a little bit sketchy without notifying, like, really anyone in any substantial way. They went ahead and repealed the SAPO because they said, hey, we're just going to go with the OS, the Second Amendment Sanctuary Ordinance. And after that, what they did was they repealed the penalties. So they took away the penalties. So there's no penalties if you violate this the Second Amendment Sanctuary Ordinance, or the SASO. So the SASO is in effect, but there's no penalties. They also put in there another stipulation that if one part of this ordinance is found to be invalid, the whole thing will be automatically repealed, which is kind of sketchy. What happened next is even more sketchy. The second they did that, they went to the court system and they said, hey, we want you to validate this law. So they gave them the SASO and said, validate this law. And then they gave the courts 10 pages of why the law is invalid. And then right away, the same day, basically, Everytown came in and said, here is our motion to intervene to say why this law is invalid and should be repealed. The thing is, how did Everytown, a place in New York which wrote this motion to intervene, aware of what's going on in Columbia County, Oregon on the day of? It's not like this was like in newspapers or on some website or anything. This is all being done behind the scenes. So it's very sketchy of how Everytown knew this. I am thinking that someone on the board has been working with Everytown and they knew exactly what was going to happen because they filed so quickly. So the deadline to intervene passes, but GOA was like, wait, that's not cool. So Raven, Metal, and GOA got together and they went to the courts and they said, you have to let us intervene. We weren't given notification or anything else like that because, you know, they obviously didn't want us to intervene. So they go to the courts and now they filed a motion to intervene in the case, basically saying what the board is doing is underhanded and likely illegal. So we're going to see what happens. Hopefully that the judge is reasonable and lets the motion to intervene come into the case, because you can't just not do it and do something secret and be like, oh yeah, it's done, bye. It's the will of the people, and they're trying to actively violate the will of the people, which is very, very sketchy. And I am creeped out about it, man. It actually gives me goosebumps when I'm thinking about how sketchy these people are. These people are definitely sus, as the kids like to say. So I'm pretty sure someone was in communications with Everytown. And we're going to find out because we are filing open records request. What an open records request is kind of like a Freedom of Information Act, but it is on a smaller level. It's not for like the federal government. It's for like county governments, state governments, and stuff like that. So I am doing an open records request for all communications between anyone on the board and Everytown. So let's go ahead and see how Everytown knew about this so quickly. I mean, it could have been done through personal emails, which it wouldn't probably show up, but hopefully they were dumb enough to use their county emails, and then I'll be able to get it and prove that they are working with each other. And this is an important case. A lot of people don't realize how important this case is. If we lose this case, what's going to happen is they're going to try to use this case to defang and get rid of Second Amendment Protection Acts or ordinances and SASOs across the country. So we can't let them get rid of this SAPO or SASO. We have to fight back against this because they're going to apply this on the state level, and they're going to apply this on the county level and on any locality. So Virginia, which is 96%, you know, SASO or SASA or SAPO. SASA is Second Amendment Sanctuary something. I don't know. Whatever. SASOs, SAPOs, and whatever. They're going to try to get rid of all this stuff. So we have to fight back, and this is a more important case than what a lot of people know, and a lot of people need to be aware of this, because this is going to have effects throughout the country, and this is why Everytown got involved in it, because they don't want people to know that, hey, this case is massive and it's going to have rippling effects across the country. They found a little sleepy county, and what they're trying to do is use this county to get their agenda through, and they were hoping that no one would notice, but GOA was on it. GOA did notice. That's one thing I love about GOA. You know, I work for them. That's another thing I love about them. But I love the fact that they notice this stuff, and we are watching. As gun owners, we have to be watching. That's why if you see something like this, even if it doesn't seem that major, let me know. Let GOA know. Let someone know, so we can actually look into it and see if it's something that we really, really need to be concerned about. With this one, we really do. This is probably the biggest case you have never heard of. All right, if you can like, comment, and subscribe, it would mean the world to me. It would help me maintain my heavyweight championship of journalism. And go to my Patreon, watch my live channel. You know the drill. Stay ever vigilant, stay ever free, keeping the fight. I'm out.